What's your approach to market? Because we've talked in the past about accelerated timeframes, hitting the cycle right. So how are you going to do that?
Yeah, it comes through two sort of key pieces. One is just in terms of approach, and the other piece is around having the right people with the right experience, get involved in the project at the right point. So, in terms of approach, I could sit here and drill this thing off all day long, and could probably end up with, the largest nickel sulfide resource. And again, a lot of juniors, that's what they do. It's all about, we just develop resource, and we just keep drilling and drilling and drilling. Again, we already have the 11th largest resource. We have, enough resource there year for a multi-decade. So, for me, it's okay. We have enough on that front. We're going to make it way better, and it will get bigger as we continue to drill. But it's okay. Now let's take what we have and advance it as quickly as possible. So, scoping study at the end of this year, feasibility study at the end of 2021. We'll get permits done as quickly as possible, which means, likely by 2023 we can start construction, and we'll be in production by 2025, 6 years after we start drilling, right? That's it, for what will be one of the, one of the largest nickel sulfide mines in the world globally. So, and again, where the location is allows us to be able to have, to be able to move that quickly. So that, it's great to put boxes on a timeline to say this is what you're going to do. Then you have to have the time, the people and the experience to be able to do it. So, at Dumont, we did 2 pre-feasibility studies, and then we did 2 feasibility studies. And again, we had to really, establish how to get this type of deposit in place. And so again, all of that time and all of that money that we invested in that, we can leverage that experience, to this project. So I've got several key people who are involved in the key parts of Dumont, involved at Crawford. Asenco, who I think is one of the world's leading engineering firms in terms of developing real projects. They not only just do studies, they actually build them. So they come up with robust capital cost numbers and robust operating numbers that, they end up getting hit. And so, we have them involved in the scoping study, and what we've laid out with them is they'll be involved right through the feasibility study, to deliver that by, the end of 2021. That's our goal, as we move forward here.
Okay, so that's quite an aggressive timeline, but like you say, it's easy to say, harder to do. And I get that. Okay, fees, in production by 2025, fantastic. But you're going to need to raise capital along that path. I get that you're saying to me, we've taken what we've learned at Dumont, and we're going to avoid those mistakes, save that time, and save that cost on what we've got in front of us. You're laying out a pathway which, for your current shareholders and potential shareholders, here are the things I'm going to hit. And if I don't hit, then you can judge me on that. But the other thing, unfortunately, you do have to bring this money into. So how much money have you got today, and where's it going to get you through to? And then presumably you're going to need to raise the next chunk of change at some point.
Oh yeah, no, we raised money back in April in the midst of COVID. That'll take us through to deliver the scoping study by year end. We'll need to raise between $10 and $20 million to do the feasibility study. We'll raise that sometime between now and year end. And again, the key thing there is to get, either some sort of strategic in there or some larger mining funds. Because again, right now our shareholder base is primarily, it was the first round of financing was friends and family. The next round was friends and family and some bigger brokers, some of their clients. And so, there's still a huge amount of upside because none of the major mining funds, are in our story right now. So, in terms of taking the share price up to the next level, there's a huge amount of room, to be able to bring these guys into the story to raise the money we need for the feasibility study, and in terms of valuation from where we are now to, where I think, ultimately the project value will, surface in the market.